People don't like inflation. I don't like it. It makes me feel out of control. I don't know what to expect. There's this uncertainty that makes me feel bad. In today's episode of Friends Talk Financial Planning, we're going to flip the script and talk about three, with one bonus topic, ways that you can actually take advantage of inflation. What's a good way to act now? So take the control away from feeling uncertain, and this is what I can control, it are my actions. Hi, I'm Bridget Sullivan-Ramel, and I have a fee-only financial planning practice in Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm John Shear. I have a fee-only financial planning practice in Middleton, Wisconsin. And before we get talking about how to control inflation, Bridget, I want to remind everybody to hit that subscribe button. That helps other people find this content on YouTube. And with that, let's get into talking about inflation, right? It's a scary thing. I love, this out of control feeling, right? Like, what's going on? But there are some real ways that we can take advantage, some actions we can take today, right, that actually take advantage of inflation. What's the top thing on your list that you are talking about?
Top thing is travel overseas. Now, sometimes people are afraid of it because they're hearing about lines in the airports, etc. But right now, the dollar is high, so that means other currencies are low, and it's like Europe's on sale.
Yeah.
And if I was really a traveler, I haven't looked at this, but it seems like going to somewhere like Helsinki or something that in the American imagination seems very close to the Ukraine was probably a good deal.
Yeah, interesting. It's interesting that I was over in Europe a long time ago now, 10 or more years ago, and I remember buying some drinks. There was a place where, Hemingway drink here, and I look at, and it was $15 for a drink. And I'm like, $15, that's a lot of money. Wait a minute, that's in euros, so it was 50% more than like $22 for a drink, But now the euro and the dollar are just about even as we're recording this. And so it's almost like from my trip, years ago, it's like 50% cheaper to buy that same drink at that historical place, right? So that sort of thing for people that have been thinking, hey, this is a trip that I'd like to take, right? One of those big things. It's effectively on sale right now with the way things are going, right?
Yeah, good point. And cruises are totally on sale. I mean, a lot of times the smart money is on what everybody else doesn't feel like doing, And so cruises, gosh, they got a bad rap during the COVID crisis. So people aren't thinking cruise, but it's a great time to take a cruise. The prices are down.
Yeah.
So.
It's interesting talking about things being on sale, and you don't often think of travel being on sale, but it sort of is, with what we're talking about with the dollar. One of the other things is some inventories. We had that downturn with inventories, right? Shortages of things. Now a lot of the retailers have a lot more inventories on certain items, right? And those things, keep an eye on those in the coming months of being on sale also, right?
Yeah, and we've got a list, right? We've got patio furniture, fridges, maybe, but definitely cell phones and televisions. Prices are going down on those things, so it's a good time to buy those.
Right. So be thinking about some of those upgrades, right? Some of those things that, again, a year or two ago were hard to find. You might be looking at that. So take advantage and be aware of some of these things that might be on sale coming in the future.
Yeah, and another idea is, if you think back, I took a macroeconomics class way back in yesteryear, but they're talking about, I think it's like menu prices or something like that. Like there's some cost to changing prices on things. And there's some time frame on changing prices on things. And so anything you want to buy that it takes a while to change the price on it is going to be a better deal now. So what types of things are that? So it's not going to be something that, you just scan it and the price is what the price is.
You go to the car dealership, right? It's really easy. They put a new sticker on there and here's our new price.
And then they charge you more.
That's really adjustable though, right?
Exactly.
You can do that. What things are you talking about with regard to...
For instance, like healthcare. That they might even have regulators that they have to deal with, and it would take a while to work through the system. And obviously you want to look at how much does your insurance cover, all those types of things. But it's harder for the healthcare industry to raise their prices.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. So maybe we're talking about some elective procedures, some of those things that we don't need to have. And of course, there's these wait times that you have to think about, but maybe this is a time to start thinking about some of those things and taking advantage of this inflationary cycle, right?
Right. So we've just talked about all the ways you can spend money. Now we've got a bonus item about where to invest in inflationary times. Our favorite investment for inflation is I bonds. So if you haven't heard about these yet, you can put $10,000 in a guaranteed account. Right now it's earning 9.62% a year. Geez, seems like it's going up in November too. I bet you anything it'll go up higher than that. And it's guaranteed by the government. You got to keep the money in for a year, but then after that you're good to go. You can take the money back out. And you have to buy this through your Treasury Direct. So there are old I bonds, which are basically savings bonds. Max you can put in is 10 grand.
Yep. Yeah, and it's one of these things, as I think about it, it's interesting. We talk about this all the time, right? And as viewers, you hear this, and then I sit and listen to it again and think, well, we're getting, a 9% guaranteed return. It's safe, guaranteed for a short period of time, not long time, but for the next 6 months. And it feels like, oh, that sounds too good to be true. Tax deferred earnings. And like most of the time when something sounds too good to be true, guess what, right? This is like that one exception. You're thinking, golly, are you sure? I'm thinking in my head, are we sure this is right? Like, yeah, this is the right thing. And it's that one place where else do you find something where it's not too good to be true and it actually is like, no, this is what it is, right? This is where those I bonds fall today. Drawback, as you said, we can only do a certain amount. We can't put all of our money into I bonds. That'd be a great place to be, depending on a person's circumstances. But for taking advantage of those, those little bits and pieces of our extra savings money, complete no-brainer to be in I bonds in my mind.
Yeah, as long as you can tie it up for a year. So as long as you know you don't need it for a year. But then after a year, you're set. And so if you put in $10,000 now, and then you put in $10,000 next year, then you can kind of segment it out so that you will have some available money if you need to take it out.
Yeah, that's right.
But most people just kind of want to keep it in, especially at these interest rates that keep going up, or the inflation rate. The other thing about I bonds, I think that people don't understand, is that it's a savings bond that is designed by the government to help the masses with inflation fears. And so that's the whole point of it. So it is not market driven. It's not like the Fed does blah, blah, or, it's not based on market forces. It's based on law. And so that's why the market forces right now are not paying 9.62 interest, and I bonds is the one soft spot. Or the one sweet spot for it. So,
So, it's a great place to circle back and wrap things up. We talked about 3 places where you can take advantage of these inflationary times. One with travel overseas, another one with items that might be on sale and overstocked in inventories, like things like patio furniture and television, cell phones, and then things where it's really difficult to change prices quickly, like things in the insurance industry, the healthcare, those sorts of things. But I'll tell you, I love the feedback that we'll get from people in some of the comments. I'm really interested in hearing what your ideas are as a viewer of this. Like, what sorts of things have you considered? Maybe you've taken advantage of some of these things already. Maybe there's some other ways that this conversation can help engage. So drop a comment in the comment box. Let's hear and use our community in addition to the things that Bridget and I talk with our clients all the time. What other ideas out there? And I'm sure that we're going to learn some things from that. So drop a comment in the comment box and let us know what's going on. It'd be really interesting. Maybe there'll be some future episodes we can talk about some of the things that everybody's sharing on this.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So with that, I'll wrap it up. I'm Bridget Sullivan-Mermel, and I have a family financial planning practice in Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm John Shear, and I have a family financial planning practice in Middleton, Wisconsin. Drop your comments. Let us know what you're doing to offset inflation and what ideas you have. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, right, to help other people find this great content. And then both Bridget and I are members of the Alliance of Comprehensive Planners. If you like what you hear on our show and would like to find somebody that thinks in a similar fashion to us, visit acplanners.org to find an advisor near you. And with that, until next time.